there's more of you, so now you are hungrier, right? So again, and every day is going to be different. But for the most part, if you are feeling hungry before the next scheduled meal, something needs to adjust. Right? Probably need a little bit more protein, a little bit more fiber, or you were just way more stressed that morning for X or Y reasons, and you need a little bit more, right? So that's fine. Okay? All right, so here we go. Almost done. So how to build a meal. I kind of just talked about it. But number one, start with your protein. You know how much you need now. All right? Protein goes on the plate first. Schedule that. Make sure you get enough. All right? Then add some colorful vegetables, right? The easiest way. The more colors, the more nutrients, micronutrients you're getting out of it, right? They all play different roles within your vision, etc., things like that. So the more colorful, the better, right? Add a starchy carb if it fits into your plan, all right? You're a carnivore, so does it fit into your plan, all right? So you won't need to add it. But other people, if you've got the calories and, right, you do well off of it, I suggest everyone eat starchy carbs, even if it's just a tiny little bit. It doesn't need to be a lot, but, all right? And then, if it fits within your calories, add some healthy fats, okay? Some meals you might need it, some meals you might not. Right, but it's a balance, right? If I had eggs and some toast with some, let's say, eggs with scrambled in vegetables and things like that, and then I had some toast and I put butter on that toast, probably don't need to slice up avocados and put that on there and then eat a handful of nuts, right? I already had butter on my toast and I already have an avocado, like you don't, so balance out your proportions, okay? Like Jansen said, a great way to cook is, she says, cut out sauces, right? There's so many other things that can flavor your foods by using tons of herbs and spices. So get creative with herbs and spices. It will give your food so much flavor without any of the extra calories, right? And watch your portions. Just be mindful, right, of your serving sizes. And then stay hydrated, right? Drink water with your meals. Try to limit drinking your calories. It's not going to make you full. It's going to spike your blood pressure, spike your blood sugar, things like that. It's going to make you hungrier. So try to limit drinking your calories, like juices and alcohols and things like that. Wine, favorite. All right, and we've kind of talked through some of these, but right, tips for maintaining or losing weight without counting calories or anything like that. Just make sure every meal has a good portion of protein and some vegetables and or fruit, and just make sure your carb portion is not larger than your protein portion for the most part, okay? Eat slower, chew your food, right? If you're not chewing your food, now you're making your stomach work extra hard. It's producing all this acid. You don't need to do that. You could take care of all of those issues by chewing your food as much as you can before it goes down in here. Now your stomach doesn't have to work so hard. All right? Mindful eating. Avoid distractions like watching TV, right? Looking on your phone, things like that while you're eating. Next thing you know, you finish your whole meal and you didn't even realize it. And now you've done it so quickly that you haven't given your body time to send signals to your brain that you're full. So you're going to overeat, because then you're going to go find something else to eat because you're like, I'm still hungry. But you didn't give your body enough time to send that signal to your brain that, hey, I'm actually full. Okay? All right, like I said, drink more water, limit your liquid calories, plating your food. Something that doesn't seem like a big deal. But if you're constantly eating, like you're making your meals, we are guilty of this sometimes. We just end up eating in the kitchen as we go. All of a sudden we ate a whole meal. I have no idea how much I just ate, because we're just eating as we go in the kitchen, right? Or sometimes you can't plate your food. You've got to be out and about. You've got your little Tupperwares. But be a human being. Just like plate your food. Sit down. Enjoy it. Take your time with it. Turn everything else off. Like, just be a human and eat and slow down and enjoy it, okay? And then change your mindset to nutrition. This is huge, right? So nutrition by addition. So don't be so focused on, I can't eat this or I can't eat that. You can eat whatever, honestly. But if you're focused on protein. I need to add more fruits and vegetables. Well, by the time you did that, you don't really have the space for all this other junk, right? Because you already focused on doing the things that you needed to positively add, right? Every now and again, it's fine. And you don't have to be perfect. You're not here for perfection. But if 80% of the time you're eating pretty well, and the other 20% of the time you're cool. Like, you can go out to eat with your friends and not have to be that person who's like, oh my God, I need to know how many calories is in that. So I'm gonna gain weight. No. Just be a human being, all right? If you're doing the positive things 80% of the time, you can go like live your life. It's not a big deal. Cool. Right. So anyways, I wanted this to be a workshop, so I wanted you guys to kind of plan out your things. So if you want to, you can go ahead and calculate this, right? If you have a phone or you're awesome like Erica with notes, or if you want, I can send this to you and you can do this, but calculate your weight maintenance goals. Like, know what you need to kind of, how many calories. It's gonna be more than you think, right? I tell people their maintenance calories and they're like, oh my God, that's so much food. I'm like, it's really not that hard to get that many calories if you track it, but it's more than you think, right? You need to eat to function, okay? And then calculate how many calories you need to lose weight. So whatever your weight maintenance is, subtract 500 calories. Calculate your protein intake needs, right? I gave you all of that. So if you want to take the time to do that now, or we can do that later. But it's also important to define your SMART goals, right? And then list the pros of making a change. You're not going to make a change if your cons are greater than your pros. So let's say I want to make a change. I want to stop drinking so much or drinking wine every night. But you're like, but I love it. I have so much fun when I do it. And you can list off all these pros for why you're drinking, right? And you only have a small list of pros for why you should stop doing it. Like, oh, because I'll lose weight. Well, now your list for all, like, doing the behavior is way bigger than the list for making the change. You're not going to make the change. You've got to hammer down every little thing. Like when I talked to Mary, I'm like, Mary, why do you want to make this change? And she gave me a couple things. And I'm like, cool, why else? And then she gave me a couple more things. I'm like, awesome, why else? Because the more positive things you can associate to making that change is going to increase your ability to make that change and the probability that you're actually going to do it. But if your cons list is greater, right, then you're not going to make the change. So it's actually important to sit down and think about this and write it out. That's why I have you guys write things on the board. Because it's one thing to say it, it's another thing to write it, and then you do it, okay? And then take some